January 6, 2021 was the first time one American president refused his constitutional duty to transfer power peacefully to the next.
President Trump lit the flame. He poured gasoline on the fire and sat by in the White House dining room for hours watching the fire burn.
And for his key role in US democracy's darkest day, the January 6 committee recommended Donald Trump face 4 criminal charges.
Conspiracy to obstruct an official proceeding.
We're going to walk down to the Capitol.
Conspiracy to defraud the United States.
We had an election that was stolen from us.
Conspiracy to induce false statements.
I only need 11,000 votes.
And the most serious charge,
aiding an insurrection, which is really the committee's effort to directly tie Donald Trump to the activities of the rioters.
You'll never take back our country with weakness. You have to show strength.
Ours is not a system of justice where foot soldiers go to jail and the masterminds and ringleaders get a free pass.
but that ringleader's decision to run for re-election in 2024 raises the stakes.
The fact that President Trump has already announced accelerates everyone's time frame. And so the first quarter of next year, you either need to be in or out.
No man who would behave that way at that moment in time can ever serve in any position of authority in our nation again. He is unfit for any office.
And whether or not Trump actually faces charges is out of the committee's hands.
It has a huge symbolic value and a huge historical value from the perspective of the committee. But from the perspective of the Department of Justice, it is almost literally completely meaningless.
We have gone where the facts and the law lead us, and inescapably, they lead us here.
So, will the Department of Justice follow?
Steve Clemons is our man in Washington. He joins us now. Steve, can you see a time where Trump ends up in jail?
Well, a lot of things would have to align to make that happen, but the first thing has happened, which is to find him culpable, a committee of Congress to refer this to the Department of Justice, and Merrick Garland, and right now a special counsel who's been appointed, a man named Jack Smith, could make the decision to indict President Trump. That hasn't been decided. And look, there's a lot of evidence out there. So I think it's unlikely, but we live in odd times, and it could happen.
You know, because Trump's one of those people who uses opposition as like jet fuel, does this help or hinder his presidential hopes?
Look, I think that there is a political truth out there, which is Donald Trump and his fans thrive off portraying themselves as victims. So this helps him with his base. It hurts him with independents in the country, certainly with Democrats. It hurts him with it's hard to see how he becomes president again, but it's easy to see how he becomes a potential Republican contender again, because his base feels empowered by this. This justifies in their mind why they're trying to tear apart the U.S. government.
So on that, Steve, we can all see the deep divisions in America today. What do you think this moment and whatever happens next regarding Trump does to that?
Well, I think it deepens them and worsens them. I'm sure that President Trump is going to come into a lot of raging words. We're going to be hearing him kind of fly off the handle at a lot of things. This isn't over. It is the end of the January 6th committee. This was the last act of that committee. And now all eyes will turn to the Department of Justice, which is trying to be an apolitical, a non-political organization in response to this. But many of us are out there saying, how can the Department of Justice not take action after so much evidence has been provided? So something is going to happen. This is not the end of this story. It is the end of the committee. And I think it is going to fuel and deepen the division about what people consider to be. Some people will look at this as, essentially a ruthless, ongoing attack against the former president of the United States, and others will frame it as this is what's necessary to save democracy.
Have we heard anything from Trump yet? I mean, how will he react to this? Is he going to tell his 5 followers on Truth Social that it's all fake news, or is he turning his attention to promoting his new show, The Apprentice Prison Style?
Well, look, I think all week, I think he's been out there building his brand. And look, this, just like, we talked about the raid at Mar-a-Lago by the FBI when there was question about how he was handling classified documents. Donald Trump has been flagging recently. He has looked, tired. People are saying this has been the invisible campaign. His star has been falling. This kind of thing brings him back into center stage, into center focus. He thrives there, and I'm sure we're going to hear a lot from him today of the angry, revived Donald Trump, maybe not in prison yet, but certainly playing the role of the apprentice.
Yeah, I note that you made no mention of Hing's suggestion of a prison series of The Apprentice. But Steve, thank you very much. Have a Merry Christmas. It's great to see you again.
You too. Great to see you all.
I love that Steve just refers to it. This story is never ending. That's how it feels right now. Once again, we're just talking about him.